Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Warhammer Warcry for the channel, and for those of you who recognise the symbols for the game, you might recognise the one that's centre frame there. We are going to try out twists for the first time as we got requests for them, so sure, we'll include them and just give them a go. It's a random factor, just yet another random thing about the game. That could be a positive, could be a negative, it could very badly affect one side over the other. It's just another layer of random. Why not? We'll give it a go this time. And for this video, it is the Nighthaunts versus the Rotmire Creed. And this series is available first to channel members, so hello channel members, thank you so much for the extra support. Everyone else, you'll see this in about a week. And let's start with the Nighthaunts, who have some new units on the field, but they are just cheap and cheerful chain rasps. Broken into Dagger, Hammer, Shield, 2-3-3. In the Dagger we have the leader, which is the Dreadblade Harrow with a Spirit Host. In the Hammer is another Spirit Host with 2 chain rasps. And then finally, in the final section, is another Spirit Host with another 2 chain rasps. Chain rasps are, what, like 85 points each. They're very cheap, but you could definitely hoard them. There is still the upper limit in Warcry of 15 models, I believe. You're not allowed any more than 15 in any given warband. So you do still have that upper limit, but if you wanted to make a horde army for Nighthaunt, that's a good start. I'm going to get more of these painted up, so eventually we can run quite a lot of chain rasps and see how that is. At least 10, I'm thinking. So we'll see that eventually. But for now, we're just having a little spattering in with Old Faithfuls like the Spirit Host, and the Dreadblade Harrow is, I think, better than the Knight of Shrouds, but I guess we'll see. And in the green corner we have the Rotmire Creed, broken into Dagger, Hammer, Shield, 3-3-4. In the Dagger is the leader, which is the Witherlord. He is joined by a Carrion Catcher with Impaler, one of the 2 in the team, and also then just a little Mirefolk Outcast with Bilewood Weapon and Shield. All of the outcasts in this list are equipped as that. So in the Hammer is the Bloated one with Raker Claws, and then 2 more outcasts, again equipped as I just stated. And then finally in the Shield is the other Carrion Catcher with Impaler and 3 outcasts with Bilewood Weapon and Shield. It's what you get in the box. It is 1,000 points on the dot, so it's the perfect team. Let's go randomise our mission. So it was suggested by some of the people who wanted to see twists be incorporated that you should work out the mission and deployment first, because if the twist is really advantageous to just one side, you could just re-roll it or ignore it. So that's what we're going to do. Let's cut a deck there and cut it again and say, hey, you're the one. And before we turn over anything else, let's see if it's one we've not done. I think we have done the Messenger before. That's the one where we were Sylvaneth and it went right off the table turn 1, if I remember correctly. Players roll off, winner chooses who's attacker, who's defender. Defender secretly picks a fighter in their warband to be a messenger, and notes this down. The attacker then picks 2 battlefield edges to be escape routes. If the messenger is within 1 inch of a battlefield edge to escape, yeah, okay, well, we'll run the messenger again. It's going to be easy to escape again, but what can you do? And it might depend on deployment type as well. So let's break this a couple of places and we'll see. Huzzah! Clash of Blades. Daggers start on the table along with hammers. Shields come in round 2, with the attackers kind of defending left side, defenders on the right. Yeah, okay, we'll run that, why not? And that means it comes down to an M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong-esque twist. So let's just do that, and we'll see what's our twist. Howling Winds. Subtract 1 from the attack and strength characteristics to a minimum of 1 of attack actions that target enemy fighters more than 6 inches away. In addition, when taking falling tests, roll 2 dice instead of 1. Neither of these things is going to be relevant, because there's one building you can climb, neither side has super long ranged, so it's probably not going to matter, but that's just an example, I guess, of a twist. So we'll keep it here in case it does come up. I don't think anyone has over range 6, but whatever. That is just one example of, as you can see, many. So if we do start incorporating twists, and this is just from the old Catacomb cards, there's also the set of twist cards from the actual 2nd edition boxes as well. So there is a lot of potential twists that you can have. On that note, we'll go decide who's attacker, who's defender, get deployed, and then be back after this quick word from my channel sponsor. This video is sponsored by Noble Knight Games. Check out the video description below for an affiliate link that will take you through to their store, and it will help me out as well. Thanks. Alright, we are all set up with the Howling Winds, Messenger, Clash of Blades. But we're going to do a little bit of an executive decision and say that one battlefield edge is being selected as the escape route, because no matter how you cut this, with a board so short, 2 battlefield edges being escape routes means that even a slow unit, even a Nurgle unit that is 4 inches or 5 inches with rush, could get out in 2 turns. Now that could still happen here, but to make it a little bit harder, one battlefield edge has been selected as the escape route. It's the whole edge, so it's still quite a large surface area, but it means they can also form a better defense. On that note, it was a roll-off. Nighthaunts have chosen to be the defender, aka the ones trying to get the messenger out of the map, whoever the messenger is, and the Rotmire Creed are defending. I guess it would have made more sense the other way around, given that the map is a graveyard, but it was more advantageous to the Nighthaunts to be the messenger because their units are quick, whereas the Rotmire Creed are not. The Rotmire Creed have selected the left edge of the table as the escape route, so it is this edge here. Again, you're supposed to pick 2, but that just does not seem feasible because, like Sylvaneth, any fast team can get off in a turn. Most teams will get off in 2 if there's 2 potential edges. So that's what we're running. We'll see if that makes it a bit more balanced than the last time we ran the messenger, which was also exceptionally short. Shields are coming in at round 2. So right now for the Rotmire Creed, their dagger is here and their hammer is up here by that tree, which we did have to twist in order to fit in the deployment area. And then over here for the Nighthaunt, dagger here, hammer here. 1 model out of these 5 is the messenger, and then their shield will also come on at the top of round 2. Let's go to the dice. The Nighthaunts rolled a double 6 and a double 3. They have used their wild die to make a double 4. They're going for all the rushes and had a single 2 left over. Rotmire Creed only had a double 6 and then just had 2, 3, 4, 5 as their other dice. Opted to use the wild die though to make another double for similar reasons, I'm sure. So with that, it is the Rotmire Creed going first because they had 3 singles left over into turn 1. I forgot to mention it is a potential 3, it says, right? Where does it say? It doesn't say actually. I guess it goes until the messenger has escaped or is dead, so there is no time limit. Alright. So the first activation for the Rotmire Creed was one of their outcasts who just did double move down there to start blocking the lower part of the table. Incidentally, the shield for the Nighthaunts are coming in right here at turn 2. You have to select a model that's on the table to be like your carrying model for these types of objectives, so they can't just like walk on and immediately walk off, but that will obviously cause problems for the Rotmire Creed. But it was still the sanest choice as the escape route because it's the easiest place for them to defend. Well, here's a good illustration for how fast Nighthaunt are, because one of the chain rasps activated, the one with the the glowing green flame thing with the candles on it. It's like a trident with candles on it. I'm not sure what to call that really, because it's not a candelabra, because it's like a spear thing. Whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, they move 6 normally. Spirit Hosts are 7-inch movement, I think, and then the Dreadblade Harrow is like 10 or something. They're very quick, is the point. A double 3 was spent to give them rush, so they're actually moving 7 inches, so that's 2 7-inch moves later. They are dangerously close to the escape route. That might not matter, of course, if they're not actually holding the message, but they could be. Second up for the Rotmire Creed was one of the carrying catchers and wanted to nail down that chain rasp just in case. So 2 movement actions was required. They only move 4 inches. All the Rotmire Creed move 4 inches. So didn't spend dice on a rush or anything because 2 movement actions was enough to lock that chain rasp down in combat, but can't attack this turn. The Spirit Host that started next to the Dreadblade Hallow activated spent another double on rush. They actually are also just 6 in, well, just 6 inches of movement. I thought there were 7 base, but no. Using rush puts them up to 7. So total of 14 inches later, he has moved up there between the crypt and the dead tree there, so threatening the top half of the ways that are possible to get to the escape route. The bloated one with Raker Claws was having none of that, activating, and then a 4-inch move was enough to get that Spirit Host in combat. Rolling 5 attacks at strength 4 versus toughness 4 on a Spirit Host with a 2/5 damage split, I think it is. Yes, yeah it is. Ugh. And he got 2 crits, so that's real scary because that's 10 wounds right there. That 4 also goes through for the standard damage, so that's another 2, so that's 12 in total. These 3s are misses because of looking for 4 pluses. The other Spirit Host on the table, because there's still one coming in, activated and just did 2 normal moves, so a total of 12 inches, and has ended up almost amongst the graves from where he started next to the Dreadblade Hollow. The Witherlord was next up for the Rotmire Creed. One 4-inch move was not enough to get within close combat range of that Spirit Host he just activated, but it did get him within range to attack, because he's got 2 inches on his various hooks and blowpipes and whatever else he's got. 4 attacks, strength 4 versus toughness 4, so looking for 4s. No crits, it was 3/5 damage, so that is a total of 9 damage across the 3 successful hits there, and the only damage he did. The Spirit Hosts, I keep forgetting how much HP they have, I'm going to need to look. I think it is 30 or 25. It is, split the difference, it's 28, so he has 19 left. Second last activation of the first turn of who knows how many was the other Chain Rasp, who just moved up a total of 12 inches next to the statue there from just out of sight to the bottom right of the camera. The Rotmire Creed have 2 outcasts left, both who started up here with the bloated one activated and just did 2 4-inch movements amongst the graves. They're trying to help bolster the middle of the table. And just like that, the spooky horse is gone. Final activation, Dreadblade, Harrow or Horrow, I never remember which it is, but either way, spent their final doubles on Rush again, and that made his 10-inch move 11 inches, so he has scarpered. He did have to do kind of zigzag through the graves there, but he has ended up right there. Gee, I wonder if he is in fact the messenger. Although, to be fair, they're all almost as fast, like it's not one turn to get away with him, and in the same way it's not one turn to get away with a Chain Rasp or a Spirit Host, but in assuming none of them are in close combat, a second turn would have been enough for all of them to get out. So, you know, anyway, over to the final outcast. And the final activation entirely for the round saw the final outcast for the Rotmire Creed spending one of their doubles on Rush, and then moving a total of 10 inches to try and cut off the Dreadblade Harrow. That's the one that moved right there. And that takes us to the end of the round. And to end the round, here's a pulled back view, because you know it's a win or lose condition, there's no victory points to add up. In this case, it's whether or not the messenger, whomever they could possibly be, gets out or not. But there is reinforcements coming on in turn 2, so we'll open up the next round with that. As we open up round 2, here is where the reinforcements for the shield for the Rotmire Creed have come on, the 3 outcasts and the other of the carrying catchers with Impaler. And in this scrum down here, this is where the reinforcements for the Nighthaunt have come on, and you have the entirety of half of the edge for the deployment on both sides for the shields, so presumably they are allowed to come on and be in combat. That might not be right, apologies if not, but the Spirit Host and one of the Chain Rasps are now tying down that outcast, and then the other one is hiding behind the rock there, but they all kind of came in off this edge. And now it's going to be really important who goes first. Well, this is how the dice shook out. The Nighthaunts rolled a 333 and kept everything else, because they really want to go first. The Rotmire Creed rolled a natural double 1 and a double 6, the 2 extremes, but that obviously meant even without spending their wild die, they could not match the 4 singles left there, and that is going to cost them the game. So the Dreadblade Harrow is activating. He is the messenger, and he can more than comfortably just go whoop and be within an inch of the edge, which I believe satisfies the criteria on the messenger. If the messenger is within 1 inch of a battlefield edge that is an escape route, at the end of the, it's at the end of the battle round actually, the defender wins the battle. So he has to live to the end of the turn, but I mean there's a non-zero chance he'll get destroyed. Sure, okay, so it's actually not over yet. He has to live, but he's very secure. The outcast that was not engaged activated, moved into close combat with the Dreadblade Harrow and spent one of their doubles on Onslaught for +1 attack, and attacked normally 3 dice up to 4 dice, strength 3 versus toughness 4, with a 1-4 split for damage, and only managed to get 1 normal hit, but also 1 crit through. These are misses, but that is 5 damage, which is pretty good, because the Dreadblade Harrow only has 25 wounds, so he's got 20 left. The Chain Rasp that just came on with the shield activated moved into close combat with the outcast that also would have been able to get into close combat with the Dreadblade. It's 3 dice, strength 3 versus toughness 4, against the ones with shield with a 1/2 damage split. Chain Rasps are not built for damage, they're built to be many of them and a horde. They actually have a double or a triple where you get +1 attack for every other Chain Rasp engaged in combat with someone, I believe. But anyway, not relevant here. One normal hit got through for 1 damage to the... how many wounds have these got? 10 wound outcasts. But tying him up in combat there means a disengage would have to happen, and then they can't attack with a charge or anything. So that might mean no one else can actually get to and attack the Dreadblade Harrow, in which case there's, we might as well just end. But we'll have a quick look. Nope, their best hope was the Witherlord, because he wasn't engaged with the Spirit Host, he engaged at range 2, but that's as close as he can get after a 4-inch move, and he doesn't have the rune mark that lets him even do the Blow Dart. The Blow Dart wouldn't have done enough to kill him anyway, but it would have been a way to just get some satisfactory additional damage done, but no, he would have to double move. That would get him in combat, sure, but he couldn't attack this turn, and there's no rule about them not being able to escape. That would actually make it more balanced, the Messenger victory condition. Rather than it being, be alive at the end of the round on one of 2 potential battlefield edges, which is way too easy to achieve, make it that, sure, you can do that, but you also have to not be stuck in combat with someone. That would make it more balanced, I feel. But anyway, yeah, there's no one else who can affect the Dreadblade Harrow. He is the messenger, so he is getting away no matter what happens anywhere else on the table. So we're just going to call it there with a Nighthaunt's victory. Another quick one, but certainly not as quick as the last time the Messenger was on the table, where the Sylvaneth won at the end of turn 1, but pretty close to it. The Happy Horse Ghost, or Ghost riding a Happy Horse that is also a ghost. I always thought he looked particularly smug, this one. He just gallops off and delivers whatever message he was delivering, but that's the luck of the draw. The Howling Winds didn't kick in, speaking of luck of the draw, but we'll draw for twists for at least a little while going forward, see what they can really do to either help or hinder the already random missions. Hope you enjoyed a short one this time though. We'll be back again in the future for more of this series. Again, it is available first to channel members, so thank you again for that. Appreciate all the extra help to help keep the channel going, keep the content coming. If you want to just help for free, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, those are all free ways that help out the channel. Or if you want to pick up something for yourself, check out my channel sponsor via the affiliate link. You buy something for yourself via that link, I get compensated, so we both get something. Enjoy the rest of your day, and see you in the future for more Warcry. Until then, ta for now.